Hello, Majid. Hello, David. Looks like the system is working fine. This was only 22 seconds before you guys got alerted. And Minushi, hello there. Stian, hello. There we go. 26-year-old male from Norway. Hello, Mehran. He says, hello, Stian. Thank you for being here. Majid, Minushi, David, I say that for you. 23 male Dallas. I know that by heart. Jesus says, hi, Mehran. Tuning in from Spain. Thank you for telling me that. There you go. I know yours, David, by heart. You've always been so precise and observing the protocol. I now know it. Stian is also beginning to be there. 26 years, Norway. I already know where he's from. Now, even though Majid has been around for a while, but I still have a hard time sometimes remembering how old he is. I know he's from UK. Minushi, not sure. So it's important, guys, just to remind me every time you put a question in, where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if it's not clear, you know, what your gender is, male or female or whatever it is. Majid says, thank you for keeping me company with your wise words. Okay. My videos are keeping you company. I'm only here, you know, a few times a week. And he says, I'm keeping away from places my ex goes and toxic people also trying to find a job. And toxic people also trying to find a job. Good. As I let my breakup affect my work, very bad. And I was let go. Majid 32 London. You know, guys, it is very, it is quite unreasonable for me to think. I mean, it is quite amazing to me to see that some of you, or some people, not necessarily you per se, I'm just saying you meaning people that could hear me in the world as general, don't realize the priorities of their lives. And they give priority to their needs for pleasure. They interpret that need for pleasure as vital, more than it actually could ever be. Like having a sex with this girl that you're in love with becomes suddenly the most important thing you've ever thought could exist in this universe. I mean, this is totally unreasonable, to the point that you guys actually lose your jobs, not realizing that having a job, it actually is the foundation of your survival, because it can give you some money to feed yourself, to eat. I wonder, how can you think what you desire for pleasure could replace your basic needs for survival? Shelter, food, water, clothing, sleeping, have a place to sleep. If you cannot understand this, you will be in trouble all your life, because your priorities are not observed and pleasure takes over to the point that you let go of your priorities, including the basics for survival. Today is going to be your infatuation with some woman. Tomorrow is going to be, I don't know, some other kind of pleasure. Maybe something that you picked up that you enjoyed and gave you some pleasure. I don't know, alcohol, drugs. And pretty soon they rule your life. And then you wonder why you're not happy. It all starts with thinking deep and judging well, putting everything in its own proper place, giving enough number and credit to whatever that subject and issue is according to its worth, not more. You give the same number that it deserves. If from 1 to 10 is your numbering system, you can't give your frustration because you can't be with your so-called love, a one-sided love that you decided and she doesn't want to have anything to do with it, and you turn that into a 10. Well, it supersedes anything else. Then how are you going to survive? What are the rest of the stuff that you need in order to be in a position to actually have enough time and opportunity to fall in love, to go after pursuit of your emotional needs? It's all about, first, it's about your basics. If you can't respect that, how do you expect to achieve anything else? If you can't respect what's needed for you to survive. It's your job, it's your health, it's your sleeping, it's your eating, it's your whatever it is that you got to learn to accomplish. You can't sacrifice all that just because you can't be between some girl's legs. Just think about it. I'm not a dinosaur yet. I know where you guys are coming from. I've been much younger than you when I would fall in love with any girl I see. Because at the age of, childhood and teenage life, you have no understanding other than your emotions. So yes, I understand falling in love. I've fallen in love more than you can count. But they were not love, they were all lust, to the point that eventually you grow up and you understand what love is. And then that's a different story. But it's not, what I'm saying to you here is not because I'm so far removed from it all, or I'm just old fart or something like that. It's far beyond that. I know damn well what you guys are going through. I still have the mind I had when I was 25 years old, 20 years old. I just am a little bit wiser and have understood what and how this functions. Researched for years and learned about myself. You can do the same now. What you're going to be learning years coming from now, you can learn it now from the things that I'm saying, from the things that others have learned and are sharing. So what I'm telling you, you should not take it as, oh, well, this guy is like 63-year-old, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I damn well know what I'm talking about. You can't even enjoy going to the bathroom if you don't have enough money to survive. But you've put all that aside and you're just focusing all your day long, sitting on your bloody couch, thinking about some girl. I know, I've been there too. But let's become better than me. Let's become stronger at this age than most of us were at one time. Become wiser. Understand everything has its own place. Okay, I'm in love. Okay, I'm in lust. All right. But before I can actually be in love or be in lust and enjoy that or sorrow and, whatever I feel through that, I got to have something to eat. I got to work because I know that this what I feel right now, whatever it is, it will pass and I will not even think about it. And I would not even worry about it later. But if I allow it to affect my livelihood, lose my job, lose my exams opportunity in university or in school, and all of that. When I am no longer worried about what I'm worried about now, the love or whatever, I've already lost these opportunities. I can't get these back. I can fall in love again. I can go on, find somebody else eventually, and forget about this. But if I've lost the opportunity of my exams, if I've lost my job, if I don't have enough, lost the money that I had, that's not going to come back as easy as the love will. So if you understand that, then just give it a number. Okay, I'm sad. She's going with somebody else. Doesn't want me. I'm rejected. All that shit that you can think of yourself, which you shouldn't. We've talked about it before. But okay, all of that. It has a number. Not bigger than your exams, opportunities, jobs, money making, survival, health, food, ability to eat, all that. None of that. It cannot be bigger than that. So give it the right place, then go through the experiences. It's not the end of the world if you lose a girl. Thank God there's so many wonderful, beautiful, amazing women out there. So if you can't understand that, you're behind the 8 ball. I don't know if that's the expression, or in front of the 8 ball. So you will lose. That's when you become a loser. You're not a loser if the girl leaves you. You're not a loser if the guy leaves you. You're a loser if you just behave as a loser and allow this situation, whatever that may be, to cause you to lose the opportunities that cannot easily come by again, like your job, like your exams, like your health, all the things, aspirations, all things you want to accomplish. If you understand this, you can handle anything of this sort. If you can't, you're in deep shit and you will remain that. Now make a choice. You want to be a piece of shit, unable to take care of yourself and negotiate the waves of the ocean that you're traveling on, the life, the journey? You want to be crumbled every time something comes up? Or you can understand, okay, it's got a number. I'm sad. Yeah, give it number 2, number 3. That's it. But the rest, it doesn't come before anything else that is connected to my survival. Now, if you focus on that, you're fine. Otherwise, no hope for you. All right, let's go on. See what else we have here. My goodness, it's all... Let's catch up. Stefan. Hello, Stefan. Thank you. Good of you to be here. Majid, 32 London. All right. And V. Calvillo. Okay, what that stands for. Hi Mehran, he says, enjoy watching your videos. I'm from Chicago. Thank you very much. You forgot to tell me how old you are and if you're a man or woman, what your gender is. Because from V. Calvillo, I cannot tell. And you have no picture either. So help me out here. Throw me the bone. Give me the info, as Dr. Evil says. You are. Minoshi says, Mehran, how to overcome loneliness. There is no such thing as loneliness. It's a state of mind. You close your eyes and you think nothing else exists other than the virtual reality goggle you have put on your head, which is your consciousness. You dive into the consciousness, you lock yourself in there, you become unaware of the actual opportunities in the world out there. You squeeze and condense the world into what's the contents of your consciousness is, and you become lonely if things are not going the way you want them to go. But open your eyes, get out of the field of the consciousness, recognize that what you have accumulated in your consciousness is just a fraction of the actual opportunities and realities and actualities of the world, then you realize there's a lot more than you have limited yourself to, that you're watching the whole infinite possibilities and opportunities in life with a limited angle, and you've created a small window to see the infinite one, which is robbing yourself out of the real size of the world and things that you can find in common with and never feel alone. And the fact that you've forgotten that you're part of the universe, energy of the universe, you're made out of the same things that is out there, including the trees and the plants, the energy. So therefore, that energy is running through from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, including through you. You're part of that energy, and that energy is one and the same for creation of everything else. How can you be alone then? You're part of the whole. It's like saying a drop of the ocean is alone. Well, that drop is made out of and is part of the whole great ocean. How could it be alone? It is only alone when it looks at itself individually and cannot see that he's actually in the water, but he's trying to separate yourself while he's in the water, part of the water, as a separate fragment and not what it is part of. And then he feels lonely, even though he's already surrounded by the whole ocean. In the whole ocean he is. That's the story of the drop. And you too. You are part of the whole thing, made out of the whole thing. The energy of the universe travels from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe and passes through you. And yet, you're oblivious to its existence. Like the fish is oblivious of the water that is swimming in it, is not aware of the water, it's just living. And you too, you're unaware of the key, the energy that is actually giving you life and is part of the whole thing. Therefore, you're part of the whole thing. You're one with the whole thing. And yet, when you're one with this whole humongous thing, that means you are this whole humongous thing, you call yourself lonely. Open your eyes. Feel what you're connected to. Feel what you're part of. Understand, you're not the drop. You're the ocean. You're only looking at a drop of it. From that drop, you can rule, command, direct the ocean, affect the ocean. You are the ocean. You are life, not a lonely piece that is not connected to life. Understand your connection, your loneliness will go away. Everything is your friend. Animals, plants, wind, oxygen, energy, ocean. You are part of make up of this whole big thing. You're not separated. Therefore, you're never alone. We've talked about this on other videos, talking about alone. What does alone means? Which we talked about it. Alone, in the old dictionary, you look at it, alone means all one. Alone, all one. One with all. So there is really alone is a tremendously powerful stage. That's when you're one with all. Yet you think of it as separated from all. Fix that up in your mind. You will see you're one with life. You're never alone. Don't condense life to what you can see. Your capabilities of seeing, the field of vision. You look at the ocean, you stand in front of the ocean, and you look and say, oh, ocean is this big. Wow, so big. But that's not all there is to it. The biggest part of it you can't see. You only see the field of your vision, what's in your field of vision. But that does not explain and is not the limits of what actuality of the ocean is. And when you understand that, you should also understand what you feel about yourself is only your own understanding of yourself. But that's not all there is to you. It's not the limits of you. It is the limits of your understanding of you. When you recognize this, then you will realize that you're much more powerful than you think you are. You're one with the whole universe. You're never lonely or alone. And then the rest of it, you build from there. I stop here. Otherwise, can go on for another couple of hours. All right. DJ M500 says, hello again. Hello, I'm 54 in the UK. I am just worried that I won't meet anyone again. I only see people at work. My girlfriend ended our 10-year relationship 6 months ago. Did you know that you're going to meet this girl 10 years ago? Did you? You didn't, did you? But you did meet this person, right? So what you know is not connected to what actuality will be. And you can't know before, you can't know something that hasn't really happened yet, usually. So just as you didn't know you're going to meet this girl, but you did, same way now, you don't know you're going to meet someone, and that's what your thinking is, because you don't know and you don't see them lining up. But you will. Just that's the way of the river. You have no idea what the river is bringing from the left side, the mountain side, if you're standing in front of the river, because it hasn't arrived yet. You can just maybe hope, feel, or you say, no, I can't see, or maybe there would be, but you can't be sure what it is bringing to you, the river, what it includes, what's floating on it. It hasn't arrived to you. You can't know. And you can't do anything about the one that has passed. The girlfriend left 6 months ago. Okay, that's the water that's already passed by you. The river that is coming from the left hasn't arrived. That's your future. You don't know what's springing. And the part of the water of the river that is now passing you by to your right, downhill, it's your past. It's already gone. You can't do anything about it. Don't worry about it. The only water that you really can see what's happening and you can make changes to it is the one that is passing by your feet. Splash your hand into it, pick up something from it when you see. That's your zone. That's the now. And until you're in that zone, don't worry about what happened or what hasn't happened, and don't try to interpret them. How do you know? You just get up one day, I don't think I can meet someone. Okay. You think, therefore you think that's the actuality. Because thought wants to replace the actuality. It's so limited, and at the same time, because it's limitedness, wants to actually turn that into actuality. Therefore convinces you, your thinking, that this is actuality. Replaces it with mostly negative stuff. And today, because you don't know that you're going to meet someone, you conclude, well, since I can't see it, and I don't know if I'm going to meet someone, there's no evidence of it, therefore I conclude, with a limited knowledge, you conclude. When you have limited knowledge, how can you conclude anything? But you conclude, because that's your way, everyone's way. I don't know, therefore I come to a conclusion. Very smart, isn't it? So you conclude that I'm not going to meet anyone because I don't know and I don't see it. Because people believe what they can see or what they know. And since you don't know, water from the left hasn't arrived, you don't know what's in it. And you can't see, they're not lining up. So you keep worrying about and wondering, well, what if that thing that has already passed and gone non-existence hadn't happened? What can I do? You're constantly, therefore you go in your memory and you feel comfortable there because the memory is the field of the known. Everything is known there, and you will find order in your memory, and through order, your mind finds security. And that's why you constantly think about the past, the girlfriend, the stuff, because you're looking for security. And through being in your memory, everything is known, you feel comfortable, and you wish for them, because you wish for the comfort, the order, that the mind can find security in it. But lo and behold, What's past is worth pretty much nothing. What hasn't arrived, it shouldn't worry you. You focus on living the moment. Now, what can I do today to be happy, to be productive, to build something, maybe a foundation of something, learning something, accomplishing something, towards something that I want to be or make happen? That's your zone. That's all you should be focusing on. And when you do focus on the now, there's no time to worry about the past because you've realized it's useless and doesn't exist. Then there's no worry about the future because you're busy with doing something in the now. So live your life and stop this nonsense of I don't know, I don't think, and all that. Well, if you don't know, you don't think, just be quiet. Enjoy your life. I hope that made sense to you. Emmanuel says, hello Mehran, I'm 26-year-old from Boston. It's 30 degrees Fahrenheit here. That's below zero. It's pretty cold, huh? It's not as cold as we Canadians here. I remember it was -3 and I would take my soccer ball and go to the field close by and just run around. It was snowing. It was all snow in there. I took on and, didn't care. Everybody lives in Canada eventually gets used to the cold. It wasn't like that for me, but I got used to it. So, however, it's a respectable number. It's cold for you there. Stefan says Goku is back. Yes, Goku is keeping me company. Abhinand says male 35 India. She left me to be with someone else. Her loss. After 6 months of, that's how you should think, her loss. After 6 months, of no contact, she texted me, how are you? I'm still not over her. How should I respond? Why are you not over her? What are you waiting? What are you waiting? For her to die? To be over her? Because when someone that we love or like or part of our life or family, whatnot, when they die and we love them so much, like our father, mother, we cry and then we be okay with it, huh? Isn't that hilarious? That we'll be okay with it eventually. We accept that. The love of our life, our father, our family, mother, or I don't know, God forbid, closer. But we're okay when somebody dies. Not okay, but we deal with it eventually. Yeah? But the girl who leaves us and is still alive, having her life, and we should be happy for her because she's alive and enjoying her life, is still in the same world, suddenly you're devastated. You can't understand, accept that. What are you waiting for to get over her? Life is like a movie. You fall behind. You don't understand what the story is. Keep moving. You have to think of life as a carriage. A carriage. These old buggies, horses were pulling it. Think of life as a carriage. And think of you as the horse. You are connected to life not by lumber, by chain. Just chain. This horse, you, is connected and pulling the buggy with the chain. And let's say this horse is going fast. If there's an obstacle in front of the horse, there's only one choice. The horse jumping over the obstacle. If it doesn't, it's connected with the buggy with chain. The buggy will come and crash it into his back. You have no choice. You're that horse. You're running and the life behind you. If there's an obstacle, whether it's emotional shit or financial, whatever, you have no option other than dealing with it, jumping over it. Otherwise, life has got no feelings. And you're connected to it by chain. Nothing gonna stop it from coming and crushing on your back. Don't let that happen. And whether today it's your loved one that you can't get away, jump over the fence. The fence being this feeling of feeling sad or sorrow that she's left. So big deal. She left. So much more beyond the fence. Go discover. Don't be a loser just because somebody didn't want you. Big deal. Their loss. Go find something better. Build something out of yourself and enjoy life. There's so much out in life that offers you. Why would you worry about what she thinks or if she wants to give you that pleasure? It's only pleasure. When a woman decides not to be with you and leaves you, then you should only think of it, you just lost a pleasure. When a woman is with you, when you're in a relationship, well, that's life. It's not just pleasure, it has pleasure in it. But when the relationship breaks up, the guy or the girl leave each other, then they should think of each other as, okay, pleasure left, the pleasure from her or pleasure from him. That's it. That's a limited pleasure. There's a lot more pleasure out there. Don't think of it as life left. No, life was when you guys were together. When one of you decide to leave, then no longer you are life for each other. You're just what it was, pleasure. So what you're really missing is the feeling, emotions you were getting by being in that relationship. Not really the life itself. Don't turn a relationship that broke up to be representing the life itself. That's your mind trying to replace the actuality and truth and facts of life. That's nonsense. So don't bow to that. Give it the right number. It was a relationship. It broke up. Wish her well. And you go on, explore, and find other wonderful things around. All right. Pablo says, hi Mehran, my girlfriend dumped me. Don't use that word dump. When you utter a word, words have meanings, and their meanings are in dictionary, so you're convinced that that word means that and delivers that. With that word and the meaning of it, there's an emotional effect that is delivered. In this case, the emotional effect of that word towards you, by you, saying to yourself, accepting that as being you, diminishes your value and your self-esteem and confidence. By nobody's fault, by your own to call yourself. Dump yourself with, I was dumped. What? Are you garbage? No. Somebody had a different taste, decided to leave, to move on with whatever her plans were. Fair enough. What does that mean? You sit in a restaurant, they bring you a beautiful, tasty dish. Let's use what I always use. Spaghetti Napolitan or vegetarian spaghetti, however you think. So that's delicious food, but you refuse it. Is the spaghetti dumped? Has it diminished in value, taste, nutrition values, and aroma and everything, and all the efforts that was put into it by the chef and by the ingredients that were used to make that dish? No, it was you refused it. But the spaghetti is still spaghetti. Everybody wants it. Many people want it. The aroma is still as good. The ingredients and quality is still wonderful, delicious, nutritious. Then what? It is your choice does not change the attributes of something else. Her choice not wanting to be with you does not diminish your value to call yourself, I was dumped. Dumped by what? Another human being? Who is she? Who died and left her in charge to give you value or not by choosing you or dumping you that changes your value? Think it through. Do not put yourselves down. What you say, what you think affects your own value and worth in your own image, in your own mind. And when you bring yourself down in your own mind, guess what? Everybody else is going to treat you like shit. So you don't have to be snob, but at least have respect for yourself in your own mind. And then you will treat people right and expect to be treated right. So let's see what the rest is. My girlfriend, let's say, left you, we're not going to use that word, for the third time. No. How silly are you? Took her back every time. Yesterday. I want nothing to do with her. Oh, okay. So it takes you 3 times to realize what's spoiled. I want nothing to do with her. The problem is we have many classes and mutual friends in school together. What do I do? Nothing. Why do you think that you should worry about it? You have your friends. Socialize with your friends. You have classes. What are you in the class for? To look at her or to study? Learn what you want to study. Why do you want to learn? Why do you want to study? Why do you go to classes? Because you are building for your future. You want to learn things. You want to have a good job or create a good business for yourself. You're looking for your future. You're protecting your future. You're trying to build something. That's your purpose in the class. So pay attention to that, what you're in there for. Who cares she's in the same class? You are not worried about her. You're distracted because of your own hormones and pleasure, ego, and desire for having a certain image of yourself in your mind. And now that image in your mind has changed, which in fact nothing about you has changed. You're just as good, as wonderful, capable, and qualified as before. It just so happens you're having a bag of chips, she was having a bag of chips, you had enough of it, and no longer you want to have that chips. That's all. Chips didn't change in quality, you didn't change in whatever else. All it matters is that you just don't want to continue that interaction. And that's it. So move on. Look at other girls. Is that the only girl in the class? If that is, I can understand that. But if not, then focus on what you're there in the class. Attention solves lots of problems. If you pay full attention to your studies, to your classroom, to what you're there to do, then your attention is busy bringing you the information that you are hoping to gain in the class. But if you're not learning how to pay attention, how to focus on a task, then your attention starts being everywhere and be distracted, including you pay attention to the girl. So instead of worrying about her, learn how to focus. Focus is power. Like these horses that they're in races, horse racing, and they have these blinds put on. Why do you think they do that? Because these horses are very powerful, very smart, intelligent. They can notice everything, and they want to. They're curious. So their attention will go to many different things, but they want their attention to be on the race. So they help them. They put the blinds on, and they see the race, nothing else. It doesn't distract them. They're full power. They win the race. They do their best they can do. You are in the same case. You're probably a very capable guy, but no matter how capable you are, how smart you are, if your attention is all over the place, you won't be able to focus on what you're focusing and be at ease because you're constantly noticing everything. So put a blind on in a way, focus on what you're there in the class to do, pay full attention to that. Naturally, she will be deleted, disappeared from your field of vision and your field of consciousness because you're busy paying more attention and importance to why you're there in the class, what you want to accomplish. All right. Perhaps you want to learn how to meditate to increase the power of your focus. And if you have that book of mine, if you go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and you click on the books, one of the books is called Me, My Psyche, and I. In the book Me, My Psyche, and I, which its printed version is expensive, it's heavy, it's 360 pages, and it's $80 US, but I've turned it into ebooks, and you can buy it for $5.99. It's very cheap, And I did that purposely so everybody can afford it. Me, My Psyche, and I has a big chapter on meditation. And from chapter 32 to 40 or something like this, all about mind, movement of mind, meditation, mind needs a home, and all these things. And one big chapter on meditation, you can learn and do meditation, and hopefully soon I'd be able to do some meditation here with you guys and show you how it can be done to bring relaxation and power. Concentration is power. And through this meditation, you will learn concentration, and therefore your mind becomes a tool for yourself. Your mind will not be a wild horse in the pasture that every time you want to use it, you got to go find the horse, grab him, bring him, saddle him, then ride on it to go somewhere, do something. That's how the mind is. It's all over the place. But instead, you want to turn your mind into a trained horse, saddled, ready, by your side. Every time you want, you just jump on it and go. It's at your disposal. So you want your mind to be trained, be able to focus anytime you need it to do something for you. Not that it's all over the place, you got to go collect it and then be able to focus on something and then distract it, but you learn how to focus it. So if you're in a classroom, she's there, or you're somewhere else, you just want to study, music is playing, you can still your mind has turned into that horse, saddled, ready for you to use it, not that you have to go and find it and collect it first. That's the idea for the meditation. So if you go on my site and click on the books and get Me, My Psyche, and I, click on the ebook version and acquire it. It's a link. You can have it immediately. And then whenever you feel like it, with a cup of tea, sit down and read some of that stuff. It will help you a lot to know about yourself. Plus what thought is, consciousness is, fear, desire, ego, and all these discussions, sufferings, everything else, lots of stuff in there. So I think that would be a good investment for everybody to have one of those copies for reference. Now that I've plugged the book, let's go and see what VC says. I'm 42 and female. All right, thank you very much for letting me know that. Emmanuel says, I always wondered if your son benefits from your videos. When I talk to my son sometimes, we're very close. And when I talk to my son sometimes, and I said, you know, watch that video, and because he said, Dad, what do you mean watch the video? I'm watching it live. You've been giving me all these lectures all your life. I'm just taking a break. Yes, we talk about these things. Yeah, discussions. Whenever we catch up and we chill together, we have a discussion of some sort. All right. Minushi says, like the video. Oh yeah, thank you, Minushi, for reminding me. Guys, there's 17 of us right here. Could you kindly please take a moment, click on the like of the live streaming. That helps us to be, helped for the, YouTube algorithm. Again, as much as we have good contents, we are invisible in YouTube. So any video that you watch, please like it, make a comment. And the live streams, please like it. Share the videos you like on your social media, please, if you will. And again, if you have any connection with any media center of any sort that they would like to talk about what we do, about my work, and interview with us, like some company in some medium in Australia and India have done this, made a report and a interview. It helps us all to put us on the map, and we can reach more people, help more people, and also grow. And thank you for a reminder, Minoshi. And we have a subscribe. I hope you guys have all subscribed. If you haven't, please click on the subscribe right now. It doesn't take too long. If not now, later, but do it now. Because many of you may be here for the first time, but if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share our videos on your social media so others could subscribe as well and help us to grow. One more says, one more is the screen name actually. Says, hello, can it happen that we will never be attracted to anyone else again after a broken engagement? No, never. It's impossible. It's nonsense. It's only your own mind trying to give you negative thoughts. That's all. It's just impossible. Even if you want, you can't not be attracted to someone else that you are programmed to be attracted to. So that's just, it's like saying, is it possible that after having experienced a bad food, a food that gives you stomach pain or food poisoning, or food that wasn't delicious and you just wanted to throw up or you didn't like it, is it possible that you would never want to eat again? It's just not possible. That is a hunger that you have, that physically you can feel it in your stomach as far as food is concerned. And the emotional needs are also the hunger that we have for that nourishment, love, attraction. So just as you can't get rid of that food thingy, you can't get rid of this other emotion and thinking that one bad experience or 2 or 10 bad experiences means you will never be attracted or want to be in a relationship with someone or like someone again. Minushi says, Mehran, you misinterpreted my question. I wanted to ask you to ask how to overcome the feeling of left out social life when pursuing goals related to career or business. It is lonely while pursuing a goal. So what? Big deal. Yeah. It's like saying, I want to watch a movie with no interruptions and I want it to be dark and quiet so I can watch that movie, pay attention to it. But when I do that, there's no light coming in and there's no noise coming. Well, yeah, because that's what you want in order to get full effects of that movie. So you want to pursue your career and get to a certain level that you're focusing on. Yeah, there's bound to be some loneliness as far as your version of, definition of loneliness here is not what we're talking about. Yeah, and that's part of it. It's like saying, I'm trying to fix this watch and I feel so quiet. I'm creating this quietness and I gotta be focused and I don't want any interaction or any distraction. But then when I do that, there's no distraction, there's no noise, and there's nobody around. Well, because that's what is needed for you to be paying full attention to fix that watch, and it won't mess it up. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's part of the thing. You want to achieve a certain goal. Yeah. I remember when my son was very busy with his project that he was trying to accomplish. He had started his venture, his company, and there were certain things he had to do. I could hardly see him. He was busy day and night. He was focusing on his creations and working, and so I could hardly see him. So that was the predicament that he had to endure, or rather he had to not even notice, because he was focused on what he wanted to accomplish. The success that he had envisioned, it found it necessary to create that kind of a schedule for himself. And of course, then later on, you will reap the benefits. And so can you. If you're focused on creating something or accomplishing something, well, it's bound to need some focus and some full attention and solitude, or preferring to not socialize so much and so on. So what? You can't have your cake and eat it too. So, but the thing is, it's not forever. Eventually it gets to a point where you can create a balance. But at the outset, it's like pushing a car. It's run out of gas, and it's very difficult to start the move. You got to put all your efforts in it. push as hard as you can. But once it starts rolling, eventually that full focus and attention and power that you needed to get it moving will not be that much necessary anymore. We'll just keep it going. So until that stage of the game, you may have to keep full focus, which includes some aloneness from social events and whatnot. What is the social events going to do for you anyhow if it's just overly? Yeah, for a while you can endure it, no social event, big deal. It's always available. You know. So, Stefan says, my ex slept with someone right after we broke up and threw it in my face how good it was. Very low class. After she tore down my confidence, and that's your mistake. Nobody can tear down your confidence. It's amazing how you guys so simply get fooled when a woman just goes and sleeps with somebody else and you think that's tearing down your confidence. What does it have to do with your confidence? It's a reflection on her. And lo and behold, that didn't happen right after you broke up with her. It's been in the works. She may have acted on it after you guys broke up and you found out, or she told you, but it's been brewing for a while before she broke up with you. Mostly girls don't break up. It doesn't include everybody, but in most cases, they don't break up until they have somebody else. And that starts way before the actual breakup happens. So relax. Nothing has been diminished from you. All has happened is a reflection on her. Nothing is a reflection on you. At least you would have some, they would have some courtesy. A couple would just begin to look for somebody else after the breakup happens, which that would mean the whole intimacy and all that, sleeping with somebody, all that will be a month or two later at least. And if it happens right after, that means they didn't have the courtesy, which is a shortcoming of their own, not yours. What are you talking about? My self-confidence and self-esteem, which I guess I already addressed that. About my ability in the bedroom, she wanted me back. Haha. Well, you have a choice. I couldn't get over that thought. Yeah, who would? Tell her go enjoy your life. That's it. When a partner begins to be cruel, whether for spite or because that really is how she feels, and comes and talks such ways, that's not a girl that you want to build a relationship on. It's a girl who's going to look for any kind of an excuse to put you down in order to feel good about herself. The characters, man or woman, who behave in this way, they're a bit of, they actually, it's them who are lacking in confidence and self-esteem, and because they have no clear abilities to build something out of themselves and feel strong by the way they live and they accomplish their challenges in life. But the only way they know to make themselves feel big is by trying to chisel on somebody else, chisel down somebody else. It's like the old saying that we say, there are two ways to have the tallest building in town. One is to destroy all other tall buildings. Then suddenly yours looks like the tallest. But the other one is to keep building yours. Focus on yours, keep building. Now the people like your ex-girlfriend or whoever else does that, man or woman, who do these sort of things, they have no ability to build something out of themselves in the correct way. They do it by ways of trying to chisel and destroy other things, at least in their mind. They attack other things in order to feel wise, in order to feel a winner. Attacking someone doesn't mean they are right or doing the right thing. Destroying, trying to chisel down and demean or trying to put down somebody, doesn't mean that they're high and mighty. That means they're intimidated by you. They can't get any bigger than they are. They're hoping they will shine bigger, look bigger by trying to knock you down, which describes you're far bigger than they can handle. And that's how the truth really is. And you bought into that crap and got affected, which you should have just said, well, yeah, okay, if that's what you want, go. You deserve that, not me. And you know what? Since you have found what you're looking for, you can't have this anymore. Bye-bye. And then she has worked herself into a corner by such such words. One more says, thank you, man, for calling out on people's emotional bullshit. I hope you will keep doing more of these live chats. Well, you know, one more. It's the first time I see your name here, so I bet you haven't, I don't know, I don't think you've subscribed. I hope you will subscribe and click on the bell and choose the always, not the other option, which is occasionally. Choose the one that says always, and so you'll be alerted every time that I go live or new video comes in and so on, that you can enjoy the chat. Abhinand says, 6 months after she left me to be with someone else, it didn't seem worked out for her. She now texts me, how are you? Might want to get back with me. How should I respond? Should I take it forward? It's up to you. I really don't. It's up to you what your personal understanding is. Maybe you feel she has grown, or maybe you have grown. Maybe you're okay with it. Maybe she is settled down. It's possible you might want to take her back, you take her back. But usually, once you break up with someone, let them go. There's no shortage of good people out there. The reason you usually want the ex back, beside many other reasons that in hundreds of videos I've described and explained, the reason is that they are part of the field of the known. You know stuff about them. You don't have to make the effort to get the other person, the new person, to know about you, to know about them. It's like you have lots of information that you can simply kind of knowing your way around. It's a lazy way of, you know, building a relationship, because you already know about it. Knowing about someone does not qualify that someone to be with you or to be in a relationship with. Just knowing about, so what? You know, I know a lot about shit. That doesn't mean I'm going to eat it. But it's all known to me. It's garbage, it's stinky, it's all that shit. Knowing, the fact that you have knowledge of something, that should not mean that that person is now have an in with you, or is qualified for you to consider her or him as a candidate for a relationship. What you know, what information is in that knowledge, should be used to qualify or not qualify. Not the fact that you know a bunch of things about some person. Oh, yeah, I know her. So what? Yeah, I know her, but she's not reliable. I know her, yeah, but she doesn't live the way I would expect. I know her, but her lifestyle does not. So you know all these things, but the knowledge makes you feel that you have a comfortable zone, because everything is known. And from knowing, there's a certain security. But don't be fooled that not knowing about everything, every knowing is actually going to help you with security, because you could know things about a person that, but if you focus on it, you don't like what you know about them, like what they do, because you know about them. So that shouldn't be encouraging you just because you know her, therefore she's qualified to come back into your life. There are lots of other people who are more compatible to you and you don't know anything about them, but find out. So don't be lazy. unless you guys, you know, I don't know, interact and see. Unfortunately, there is so much power struggle between couples who want to get back to each other. They want to establish grounds that, I'm this, I'm that, don't do that, don't be like that. And they want to command now that they're kind of giving each other a chance again. Anyhow, this is something that you should consider, because I don't know her. I don't know what the situation has been between you guys. So it's, I don't have enough detail to make any further comment on that. DJ says, I'm looking at your books. Are they available to read on Kindle? They should be, because when you choose an ebook, it comes in 3 forms. When you click on the, when you purchase it, the link that comes to you brings you 3 versions. PDF, EPUB, and Mobi. I think Mobi is the Amazon's version, or is it? Or it's the Kindles, I don't know. Anyhow, these 3 versions, and they usually cover everything. But there's a PDF file, there is EPUB, there is Mobi. So Karine. Hello, Ra. Karine says, even though I don't have a relationship problem, but always I enjoy listening to your wisdom and your answers while I'm doing my work. Wonderful. Delighted to hear that. I'm delighted that the talks are useful, if nothing, at least entertaining. Karina says, I learned so many things from you. I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to share these things with you and everybody else, and I'm delighted that you find them helpful, and I'm happy that you're here and part of our group today. Majid says, is your son planning on a YouTube channel? And if it is still going, what's the name, as I followed him when he was bodybuilding and strength training? Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, I don't think he has that channel or continues that channel anymore. And I don't have an answer at this point to give you. But within a couple of months, then I can. That has been my instructions. So as far as what he does, what his job is, what his profession is, what his projects are, I have nothing to say for the next 2 months. All right. Lil Jaden says, hi from Calgary. Oh my goodness, Calgary. Canadian, eh? We are here. Finally, my own countrymen are beginning to notice our channel. Wunderbar. So Lil, the protocol here is you tell me where you're tuning in from, which you did, how old you are, and if you're a man or woman or whatever your gender is. So that will help us to know our demographics, who I'm talking to, and if there's a question coming, that helps me to know a little bit background on you by telling me where you're coming from or where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and what your gender is, so I can tailor make my delivery to that effect. Stefan says, drinking a lot more tea and trying to cut alcohol on the weekends. Thanks for your inspiration, Mehran, in pursuit of changing my physique, and most importantly, a strong mind. Good, Stefan. That can be done. I don't know what fitness level you are at right now. I want you to make sure that you I don't know if that is necessary. Talk to your doctor before you start any physical training. But if you're already convinced and confident that that is not an issue, then try to pick up your fitness level training at your fitness level, present fitness level. Don't rush into it. Just gradually work it in. I started my training again last year because I was away from it for about 28 years or 25 years. I used to go to the gym quite often when I was much younger. I was in my late 30s when I started weight training, because all my life I was in more of a different sports like martial arts, tennis, soccer, equestrian. But when I was in late 30s, I started weight training, and I used to be quite involved in it as far as my level was concerned. And then when my son was born, then my priorities changed, and I wanted to be part of the whole process and enjoy growing up with him and share time and activities with him, and of course with my job and so on. So the whole plans changed until last year, which was 25 years had passed since I had gone to the gym. And one day my son comes to me and says to me, he says, "Dad, I remember how you used to look like. This is not what you looked like then." You were like you were really strong, and at least because he was much younger, that's how I looked then. So I remember how you used to like, this is nonsense. Go to the gym. He bought me a gym pass. He says, "Here's my gym pass. I go to a different gym. You go to this gym and go and get back to shape." I said, "Yes, sir." He was right. So I started from scratch. I would do my bench press by just a bar, nothing else. Started it slow, stretching, then go to bench press and with just a bar. And then 5 pounds, then 7.5, then 10 pounds. Not at the same session, over months. And everything else, shoulder, pull-ups, everything, squats, everything started from scratch, just a bar. But now, a year later, I'm at the best shape of my life, or pretty much. Within the past 2.5 months, I lost 17 pounds. All because of I added the more vigorous training and changed my diet. So I get up in the morning. I learned about this Dr. Aman Ra, I think is his name, and his views of diet resonated with what I had in mind. I didn't want to eat meat anymore, and so I watched his instructions, and so this is what I do now. I get up, I have a little aloe vera, which I like, and pure aloe vera. You can buy it from health food stores. I have my protein shake, vegetable protein shake, no sugar in it, and that's my food for the day. Maybe a few nuts or a few blueberries or something if I get hungry, or maybe a protein bar if I get hungry. I usually don't. And then I go to the gym at night, maybe 6, 7 o'clock at night. I go to the gym, do my weight training, then do my cardio. Then I come home and I eat simple beans, mixed beans with maybe a tomato and onion in it, mixed with curcumin, and maybe some hummus mixed. It's very simple, and that's it. Maybe then I have an apple if I want to, or half an apple. Very little sugar, if anything. Or sometimes if I feel like it, maybe I'll have a date. Not the date that you're thinking, the date that you can eat from these trees. So that's it. So if I need 2,600 calories a day to maintain my weight, I have 7, 8 to 1,200 calories a day. So I'm dropping about 1,500 calories a day And I've been doing that for the past 2.5, 3 months. And I lost about 17, 18 pounds. And blood pressure is much, much better, it's normal than before. And I'm sure that's why there are other, hopefully, helpful effects as well. So if you're trying to do all that, then do it right. Make sure, don't do it as extreme as I did. That's like too much. But for my stage or way I enjoyed it, it worked. I could work. I got used to not eating all day long without feeling hungry. But you may want to alter it the way that it works for you. Anyhow, that's very good to take care of yourself and do meditate, do sports, enough to feel good, to create more energy, and accomplish tasks that you always wanted to learn or accomplish. Focus on your life, build your life. There's a lot more than a relationship or one woman or one man in one's life, and you can simply bring quality to your life by focusing on the now, not what was and not what could be, just the now. Be with the now, be with the flow, be with the movement of energy, be with the happenings of things, not in the memory with things that happened or things that may happen and you just simply dreaming about it. Be with life, focus on now, accomplish, do things, build things. And things will work out. You will have an energy that attracts people of your choice, not just, hanging around waiting. Anyhow, hope that is something for you to chew on. All right, now, Nicola says, how can I forget my ex-girlfriend? Easy, just start paying attention on other things and focus on the things that were not so good about her, not just the stuff that was good about her, because usually human being likes to think about the good stuff in these cases. Instead, focus on, because we are programmed to forget about bad things. That's one thing about human beings, that we forget about pain and suffering so we can survive. But in this way also, it kind of works against us when we break up, because you still keep thinking about the pleasurable part of the relationship, and you forget about all the shit that was going on that ended up with breakup and so on. Or the fact that it's broken up, it's the shit itself. But why should you then think that it was good? If it's broken up, why should you think about it that it was so good? What was good? This is what she did, or this is what he did, this is what happened. So the breakup is not good, so therefore the relationship wasn't good. Therefore it is not suitable for you. Therefore you should forget it. Pay attention to something else. Now, he says, I thought she was a real woman for me. Well, yeah, again, you're not telling me how old you are, where you're tuning in from, and the rest of it. So please do that. But most of you, when you're young, every woman that you meet, you think that's the one. But it's not. It's just another stage of pleasure. Your hormones are deciding for you. You're a heterosexual male, you're programmed for procreation. You see a woman, you see a female, it creates fire in you. That's what you're programmed. It doesn't mean that she's the right girl for you. It's just a natural reaction for you as a heterosexual male to pay attention and be fired up by seeing a female. But that doesn't mean the female is the right match for you. Reacting to your program toward a female is not necessarily an evidence that that is the right choice of female for you. You have to understand that. Your reaction towards female is towards the physical appearance and attributes of her. Your hormones are programmed to see it that way, be attracted to her. But the relationship that you will build with a woman is not with her body. The relationship is never built with a woman's body, between two people, with their bodies, the woman and the man together. It's not their body that that you build a relationship on. It's your consciousness. Therefore, the fact that you're attracted to this woman, that doesn't mean your consciousnesses are compatible. It just means you're physically reacting to what your programs are in your gene. That's the reaction you make. But if she's the right woman to build something, that's beside the procreation. Your attraction is because of the procreation program. But you building a relationship will be determined and it should be based on the connection between the two consciousness. And that can only happen through time, to know if she's the right girl for you or not. You can't decide that, oh, I'm turned on with this girl, so she's the right woman. I want to marry her. Can you hear yourself? But this is what mostly is, and that's why when a woman comes to your life, especially at the younger age, pretty much any age, but pretty much more at younger age, you think that date is a woman for you to build a life with. You would not know that until you interact with her long enough to know about each other's consciousness and the content of the consciousness, the views on how you negotiate life, interact with challenges and with the happenings of life. Then you may know more about each other, because what you're looking at her is not her. It's her, it's her body. It's her physical part of her entity. Who she is not apparent from her physical attribute. Who she is inside her consciousness. That needs to be understood, experienced, interacted with, and learned. You cannot see that right from the outset. Therefore, the girls that you see you're attracted to, you can't say you know her or you're attracted to her as a person. You're attracted to her body. Once you know about her, through what we talked about, interaction, time, and all that, then you know her. Then you can see if she's the right girl for you and if she's the woman for you, or she's just another distraction, a pleasant distraction. Now, hopefully that can help you out. There you go. Nicola, 22-year-old, and she's 19. Yes, at this age, almost any girl over 18, 19 years old that looks to you as a full-fledged, complete, perfect woman, because you can't see anything beyond your urges. And you think just because they look nice and you're attracted to them, then therefore they're also the right girl for you. Yeah, I know, you say that. She's really pretty. Yes, of course, and that's how we're built. We look at her, whoever, what pretty means to us in our eyes, and we find a girl that is pretty, suddenly we think she is pretty as a person, but her physical attribute is pretty. But what makes this pretty tick is inside her head. You know nothing of that. And that's what makes or breaks a relationship. And that's what you build a relationship on. What's in here, how her conditioning is, what she's programmed on, what is her mechanical process that you guys create together, what is the order, what is everything else about her. That's when you get to know her. But she's pretty, that's your program reacting for automatic attraction to a woman for procreation. But that's not meaning that she's also the right girl for you or you're the right guy for her. Different mentalities, different consciousness, different tastes that can only be understood over time, interacting with each other. And now we have Gurinder says, hello Mehran. Hello Gurinder. I'm from Tennessee, he says. I'm 25 years old. My question is that I have tried everything to overcome self-value issues, but I am still stuck. What can I do? I hope everybody has had a chance to click on the like of the live streaming before you forget. That helps us to be a little bit more visible on YouTube. And don't forget that we need your sharing the videos that you like in your social media to get noticed. And all these little bits of help will help us to be put on the map and reach more people around the world, help more people, and also get more ability to do bigger and better things. Now, Gurinder. Gurinder says, my question is that I have tried everything to overcome self-value issues. But self-value issues is not your problem. Your problem, your value is there. Your problem is that you're conditioned not to see it. You're conditioned from childhood in school, be compared to somebody else who got a better grade than you by the teacher. You're conditioned to be compared by your parents or family members, can be compared with the other family members, son or daughter, or your siblings. You're conditioned to think, according to the system that you're living in most any countries, that somebody is doing, attending to certain things better than you. You're always being compared, which means all this has caused you to be conditioned to think you're not good enough. Ever since childhood, the whole system is trying to tell you you're not good enough. Your parents, they don't mean it, but they're comparing you with the other siblings to make you to behave better or achieve better or whatever it is their intention is. Let's say it's always positive. Then you're at school, you're conditioned, you're compared with so-and-so's son or so-and-so's daughter or another student in the classroom and the level of their attention or focus or performance in the class. And then you're conditioned to higher, high school and university, and you again in a job that you want to apply, there's somebody more qualified in one way or another, you're being told, and all of that signals you that you're not good enough. You're always combating to be, included in the measuring or measure up according to some standards that is put together by somebody else, which is all focused on making you feel like, not necessarily, but that's the outcome, that you're not good enough. So you grow up thinking you're not good enough all along, and all it takes for one girl to tell you, I don't want to be with you. And suddenly you think she's all that. You think that she's the one actually the judge for your values. That what she thinks and chooses or not chooses is actually the measuring stick for showing someone's value or not. But that has nothing to do with who you are, what your value is. It's just the fact that that's her understanding, her level of understanding and expectation in life. And for her, something else is important. It's like saying, she or he or whoever, let's say she chooses apple versus peach, and suddenly what? Peach is supposed to think is devaluated, is no longer good? No, she just preferred apple. But her choice does not devaluate something else that she hasn't chosen, and does not evaluate what she has chosen. The apple doesn't become more popular in the world just because she chose it, and the peach doesn't become devaluated or less popular in the world because she happened didn't choose it. So she really is inconsequential in your values and worth. Yet you're conditioned to think that other people's opinion and choices about you is a notion of your value and the measuring stick for you to know about yourself, which is total bullshit. Once you understand this, then you will not rely on the opinion of the others or how the system has conditioned you to think about yourself, create an image of you in your mind about you. Instead of allowing the opinion of the people and the system that you grow up and all the conditionings to create an image of you in your mind about you, you should be focused on your accomplishments, who you are, your own worth and value and role in this life as being part of this jigsaw, the whole universe. You are part of it. Without you, the world would not have been the same, whether you know it or not, whether you notice it or not. It would be a different thing because of all the changes that you have made by just being here. That's where you get your value, how important every one of us are. But this girl wants me or doesn't want me, that wants you or doesn't want me. What difference does that make? Where is she coming from? What has she accomplished? She's not the universe. Without me, she wouldn't be valuable in my mind. Without you, she would have no value that you are thinking she does, because it is you who gives her value in your thoughts, in your mind. So therefore, she's not important in how you should think about yourself. You should think about yourself as who you are and what your role is in this universe, independent of other people's opinions or choosing you or not choosing you, like you or dislike you. Now, Michael says something that I don't understand. Petr says, from love her now to hate her after breakup. Why? Nobody says you should hate after breakup. I don't know. What are you saying? Or are you saying that you loved her, now you hate her, and why? That's your personal view. You shouldn't hate anybody. As I said, just because somebody chooses something else that doesn't evaluate you, means nothing to you, and it just means that's their level of understanding and expectation. So wish them well, and you just go about your merry way and find other things that are bigger and better, more suitable for you. V says, hi Mehran, it bothers me when someone cancels plans with me and doesn't reschedule. How can I express that this bothers me so the other person doesn't get defensive? It's actually a very valid question. Many of us get bothered when somebody cancels at the end because we take that as a sign of I wasn't good enough. Somebody, some other plan, some other schedule, some other activity is more important to her. The key word here is her or him, whatever your cases may be. But I'm saying the other person. So interpret it for yourself the way it should be. I just say it in one way. The important here, the key word here is her. You're thinking that the choice of somebody else, preference of somebody else, is a reflection on your worth and value. But you should only limit it to that the preference of somebody else is only indication of what her preference and understanding and expectation, level of expectation is. That's all. But you take it personal that the fact that she canceled with you, it means you weren't good enough, qualified, capable of being preferred over other options. And we are all conditioned from childhood to want to be better and that we are not good enough, and we're always compared and we want to be better than somebody else or something else. Be preferred. We're conditioned to want to be preferred. That makes us feel good. That conditioning has nothing to do with the actuality of you and your being who you are or how valuable and how important you are. But we are conditioned to want preference. That's why when we go somewhere that we are always expecting a special attention, special treatment, even if you're in a restaurant, to the waiter or waitress. Could you please bring that with this little, I don't know, spoon on the side of it, if you will, please. I mean, you go out of your way to be polite and nice, so it will be actually done the way you want it, so you will feel special. Or you feel so wonderful and you actually pay a bigger tip when somebody pays so much attention to you in a certain kind of a setting, because you're actually not paying for the service, you're paying for the attention, because you're conditioned to want to be preferred. And that represents to you that you're being preferred over what you don't even know and you don't even care. You just want to know that you're important. And whomever makes you feel important, you feel wonderful about that person. You think that person is the right person. When it comes to relationship, that has a lot to do. The attention that you receive it makes you feel wonderful. And then when they cancel on you, you feel you're being denied an attention. And you're not being preferred. And that's against the condition that you've received ever since childhood. Because you've always been told you're not good enough. With all the hierarchies, with all the interactions and comparisons that it's been done to you through your parents and siblings and friends and teachers and system and university and everything else, you're conditioned to think you're not good enough. And therefore you're conditioned to want to be preferred, want to be chosen. And when you're cancelled on, you feel you're not chosen, contrary to your conditions. You're not preferred. Oh, devastating. Again, I'm not good enough. All your life you're trying to prove to yourself that you're good enough. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because you've been programmed to think you're not good enough. So let go of that shit programming that has been put in your head ever since childhood and peel off the onion and say, here I am, goddammit, I'm good enough. I don't need anybody's approval to these points, and I'm not bothered if they actually cancel on me, because I will consider it, okay, so your level of understanding and class and expectation is not as high as it would be if you're with me. Therefore, go on, that's all right. I will go and make other plans. I can understand that it's bothersome, but that's really the roots of it. Now, how to deal with it so they won't get defensive? And don't worry about it. Don't worry about them getting defensive or not. Next time when they want to make an appointment with you, say, no, listen, last time you canceled, I don't enjoy that. I have plans, I make plans, and my life has discipline. If you don't have discipline and you're wishy-washy, I don't have that time. So go, when you fixed it, you come back. That's it. Let them get defensive. The hell with it. I don't care. Unless they had some genuine, God knows, I don't know, sickness or fear or something, fever, not fear, or something that, I don't know, their mother or father or some loved one needed some special whatever. The rest of it is, they don't believe it. Nonsense. They can go fix themselves instead of getting defensive with you. All right. Gurinder says, thank you, Mehran. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Michael says, I went with this one girl in school, and I had a crush on her for 1 year, and now she's with this other dude from our class. 6 months passed. I'm still heartbroken and can't move on. Any advice? Yes, she's not the only fish in the sea. Move on. If she has chosen somebody else to be with, that means she's not deserving your attention anymore. If this wheel doesn't turn for you, I don't care if it turns at all. I don't care how wonderful she is. If she is not focusing on you, giving that wonderfulness towards a relationship with you, then it doesn't matter who she is with. You just stop choosing her or considering her the right girl for you. You go on and explore further and find someone that you have things in common with, and also she reciprocates your interest. Otherwise, what for? For what reason? When you see a woman is not interested in you or is already gone with somebody else and is in a relationship with somebody else, for what reason you want to waste your time? What? You're not really actually wanting her. It's not her that is keeping you frustrated. It is the image you have made of her in your mind, and you're in love with your own creation, and you don't have enough guts to say, okay, I now disqualify this image. Is no longer qualified to have my attention. But because you created it and you consider yourself credible, you think what you have created in your mind, then it must be the final word. And you can't go against it because you created it. How can you go against what you have created it and convince yourself that it's the right girl for you now? Well, open your eyes and see, okay, it's like Something is like an apple on the tree. A peach on the tree is perfect. Perfect color, perfect look. It's ripe, ready, and it's qualified. But you come back a month later, it's shriveled, is no longer as the same color or looks or shape. So you don't turn around and say, oh, just because I called this qualified and a great apple or peach one time, a month ago, I should still keep calling it. No, you see it for what it is now. When you called it perfect, it was when it was perfect. And you chose that because all the conditions and, met your expectations. But now that the apple and the peach has changed, they're not, look at them the way they are now, not the way they used to be. So now look at her the way she is now. She's interested in another guy. She's in a relationship with another guy, which means obviously she's not interested in you. Which means she disqualified now. Because before, when you liked her, well, she was free. It was a possibility there at that moment, and she qualified your attention. Now that she's already with somebody else, why should you hang around? Go with somebody else. Find somebody else more interesting. Meaning go to other trees that they have still fresh, good, available apple and peaches for you to consider. All right. Yeah, I know. You said you can't move on because after all this time, and you wonder why, and I just explained to you. Because you're looking at her with the eye of the past. You're not looking at her with her situation now, with her relationship at the moment, and the fact that she's no longer qualified because she's not free, therefore she's no longer qualified. So why should you hang around? You're not looking at her for what she is. You're still looking at her for the time that you thought she's qualified for you to pursue. All right. Stuart says 31-year-old male, England. Oh, let's see what time it is, guys. All right. I can only be here for another 5 minutes because I have an appointment on Skype and I should finish it right away. So good thing I checked the time. Remember, guys, I'm just one Skype away. If you guys have any issues that you want to talk to me one-on-one, go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Click on Talk to Me for consultation and pick up a package suitable to your budget. And until further notice, if you get a half an hour, I'll double it. And up to 1 hour, I will double your appointment. So that is some way that I can help with making it more affordable for the people who are on the fence but need to talk to me. So let's get on with this, and let's see. Stuart says 31-year-old male, England. My ex-girlfriend of 8 years broke up with me over a year ago out of the blue. She stated I didn't do anything wrong but never really gave me a reason either for the breakup. The past year has been brutal. It shouldn't have been. Listen, guys, grow a pair, goddammit. Grow a pair. A woman doesn't want you. More power to her. She wants to go her merry way. Fine. Wish her well. But grow a pair and move on with your life. She's not the only game in town. She's not the only inspiration for you. She's not the only thing that you should pursue. There's so many wonderful women out there. Opportunities. Are you going to sit down in your room and cry when you get you get laid off from a job? Are you not going to look for another job? Yes, you do, because you see that directly connected to your survival. But why don't you see this as the same? She, okay, didn't want you or went with somebody else or whatever the heck the reason was. There's nothing wrong with you, it's me and all that. Fine. You go on too. Why do you have to be connected with a relationship that didn't work? As long as the relationship works, great. Do your best. Be good to each other. Help each other. Grow together. Build something together. But when one of you, after you tried, doesn't want it anymore, and you guys tried hard enough to make it work, still doesn't, then why you still linger? What kind of sign do you need that you should move on? No different than a job that is no longer working. You don't like it, or they don't want it, or they're downsizing, whatever it is. Or you're a great worker, a great employee, but we're downsizing. We just don't. Okay, fine. You still go on and find something else. But in this case, because of all the things that I've described in other videos that you got to watch, I can't do it all in here. And because of the conditionings you brought to yourself that she's the right girl, and you've created a certain order, and what you're really missing is the order, not her. And to understand what order is, go to my video channel and search for order, and you learn order is created by mechanical process, and mechanical process creates order, and the mind seeks and finds security through order. And your mind is feeling insecure because the order that you had with her, the way you guys were doing things, is broken. Until you create a new order, you feel a little bit out of place. That's all. But you haven't noticed that. That's why after 6 months, you still feel like, what should I do? Because you haven't noticed where the problem is. For that, maybe you want to get an appointment with me and talk to me, and we'll sort that out. Kalani says, aloha, aloha, Kalani, good to see you. Kalani 26, Hawaii Islands, yes. A sound from my homeland. Adopted homeland. And getting back to Stuart to finish that up, it says, she has now since moved on, but I still love her. You shouldn't. You should have love for her, wish her well, but you don't have to love her the way you did as a couple. And I don't feel like I can move on forward. Yes, you can. Just watch this. I'm going to upload this and watch it again. Okay, guys, I'm sorry I have to end it. Oh, there's one more question. Let's see if I can do that as well. Michael says, you are right. I was seeing her every day, and my attachment was growing from day to day, and I've been daydreaming about her 90% of the day and thought she's perfect and couldn't get over it. I'll try my best to move on as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Mehran. You're quite welcome. Not as soon as possible. Now! That is as soon as possible, because it's possible right away. Okay, guys. I thank you very much. Stian, thank you very much for your best wishes. Thank you very much for being here with me, guys. I love you all. Thank you for your time, letting me share with you these things. Don't forget to like the live streaming. Don't forget to share the videos on your social media. Don't forget to hope to promote us the way legally possible. And I hope to talk to you soon. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.